Hey everyone, my name is Sheena and I am a solutions engineer here at Sigma. Today I'm going to be walking you through a finance manufacturing demo, more specifically on FP&A. Now, we have a fictitious company called Six Sigma Manufacturing, and right over here we have a portal that really focuses on finance, but not only that, it also focuses on the finance business partners such as engineering, supply chain, and operations. And this is where everyone can come in, perform any of their expected relief committed actions, and then the finance analysts can go ahead and understand what those gross margins look like and how gross profits will look like as well. So if we take a look, we could portal, and right off the bat, we are able to see what our P&L looks like. We could see from Q1 to Q4, take a look at our product revenue, our manufacturing variance. We could see that there's a huge spike in Q3. We could also take a look at our gross profits and so on and so forth. Not only that, but you're also able to drill down anywhere on your P&L. So if you want to take a closer look at a specific area, you're able to do that, such as region, plant name, account name, so on and so forth. Not only that, but you could also ask the question to an agent. So we have a Genie integration where we're able to bring in a warehouse agent from Databricks and basically are able to tag that in and now ask questions. So over here, you'll be able to see that we currently have a bunch of information, and something I might want to do is calculate profitability metrics. So while I do that, behind the scenes, what's happening is that we're looking at different data sets. We're calling a specific agent, warehouse agent. So Genie Space was created in Databricks to then call this warehouse agent, and you only have access to the agents that you should have access to, right? So we inherit everything from Unity Catalog. So now someone who is building out this specific workbook will be able to tag an agent that they have access to within Databricks. So over here, as you can see, we've gotten some critical findings, what the bottom line looks like, as well as next steps. Not only that, but we also have a quarter-over-quarter bridge, so we could see what that operating profit bridge looks like. But we could also take a look at how it looks from Q3 to Q2. So once I hit submit, we could see what the changes will be like for revenue, unit economics, change in manufacturing, and so on. And we could see how it's going to affect our operating profit. And down below, we could see some more details about each of the product families for that specific price volume bridge. Now, once we come to this variance analysis, we're able to see how exactly we have, what the grand total is, right? So how much variance has engineering brought, plant operations, and supply chain. So if we click on engineering, we could quickly take a look, see what the scrap cost or material usage looks like by each of the SKUs. We could see that EA006 has a see what these average yields look like. If I just want to look at our flag SKUs, I could toggle on here and we could see how everything changes and really just hones in on what those flag SKUs look like. Now I could take a look at required actions. So once I go to required actions, I could take a look at all of the SKUs that are flagged. And one thing I could do is maybe focus on EA005. So once I do that, my whole form auto-populates, and then you could see our SKU code is EA005. So let's just say I want my expected yield to be 98%. I have a relief calculator that will go ahead and tell me what that relief should look like. Not only that, but again, I could ask my agent what my expected relief should look like and have that agent actually make those changes for me. So everything that is happening with this in the agent that the agent is providing for me can be actionable, and you're able to update your form by leveraging the agent. So let's just say what should the expected relief be for EA005 and the target date. So once I do that, it's going to start thinking, take a look at everything. So while we're doing that, we could quickly just maybe add some material quality of all the material. I'll start filling in all of this, make this committed, and now we could see what our expected relief should be. So now our expected relief should be 34,000 with a target date of August 31st. So I am going to say, can you please date the form for me? I'll just say I have a high confidence level, and now I'm going to add our owner email to be Sheena Sadbate. I'm going to hit approve. And now you could see that it has been actionable. And now whatever this agent told me is now being added into here. So all I have to do is hit submit. And now, since I was the owner, I could get an email with all of these details. So now that all of this has come into play, the same thing goes for supply chain, where I can go ahead and take a look at those that require some type of action. I could use my AI assistant. And again, with that Genie integration, you'll be able to tag that warehouse agent to help with this. And the way that all works out is basically really easy. With point and click capabilities, you're able to build out your agent where you could add instructions, you could add different data elements, you could add specific actions, and then you could tag in those warehouse agents. So I built one out for supply chain with a set of instructions, and now I'm able to leverage that as a part of this. And if I want to add additional ones, I'm able to. And again, because we inherit everything from Unity Catalog, you'll be able to see all of those specific Genie spaces and agents that you have access to. So now that we have gone through all of this, it's the same process for supply chain as well as operations. We could go back to finance and basically see what our range of outcomes look like. So we could look at the corrective actions, how our variance has changed, decreased because of that effective relief, and what our new P&L looks like, right? So how much has our gross profits increased because of that change in expected relief, and so on and so forth. So you're able to see all of that over here. And then you could take it a step further by, again, leveraging an agent to figure out what our forecast would look like for 2027 from a P&L perspective, right? So how much revenue will we have, gross profits, and so on and so forth. We're able to see all of that for 2027. And then if you want to take a look at it for further years, you're able to do that with this forecasted P&L section. So all in all, as a part of this demo, you're able to see how a finance personnel can come in, take a look at their P&L, take a look at, how they are performing gross profits, operating profits, so on and so forth. And then you could see how everything is changing based off of what the business partners are accounting for as a part of expected relief, and so on and so forth. So this is a whole portal for not only finance, but all of the business partners as well to come in and really focus on how we could drive higher gross profits and gross margins. And with that, thank you for your time.